His name is Chris Waddell, but when it comes to mountain climbing, you might call him Superman, since he refuses to be limited by his paralyzed legs.
So I was on a climb one day and this thought just popped into my head, well, I should climb Mount Kilimanjaro. No idea where it came from. I had no idea if it was possible.
Kilimanjaro, Africa's tallest mountain, has most certainly never been conquered by a paraplegic. 19,000 feet. And nobody said to you, you're crazy?
I think there were some people along the way, but I don't remember the people who said that I was crazy.
In September of 2009, he begins an unprecedented assault on Kilimanjaro with a team of 61 Tanzanian porters and 7 Americans, including a film crew and a doctor. And on the first day, he easily climbs an amazing 3,000 feet.
My goal when I was pedaling was to turn myself into an engine. I was looking for the RPMs to be able to roll over things.
Good job, buddy.
Day 2 is another story. The trail becomes rocky. Porters throw down planks to smooth the way, but Chris powers through on his own. On day 3, he skips meal breaks and slowly pulls his way up to 15,000 feet.
Good go. Thank you.
Near the end of day 5, that story takes a turn for the worse.
This one's going to be tough.
I don't think I can make it.
The thin air and dizzying altitude of 17,500 feet suck the strength out of him. Chris is exhausted and at risk of a potentially fatal buildup of fluid in his lungs or brain.
And I thought, I don't care at this point. I'm going to go absolutely positively as hard as I can. And it was almost out of body. I just kept clicking this thing over.
But soon his wheels begin slipping.
There's a little bit of gravel on the boards and I just slip off. And I think, oh, this is just brutal. I've got to get back on the board.
Inches take hours. Then, just 30 feet from camp, these arms of steel turn to rubber.
And I thought, I don't think I can make it. 30 feet, what's 30 feet? And it was this one moment of like, okay, well, how are you going to get there? Well, you only have one choice. You do one crank and then you stop. And then you do another crank and then you stop.
That moment inspires the name for his film, One Revolution.
And the idea is that something small, that one turn of the crank can lead to something big, to the turn of to the top of the mountain, but hopefully it can lead to something else big, to this idea of change in how we see ourselves.
If scaling Kilimanjaro inspires Chris Waddell to change the way we see the disabled, on day 6, the mountain forces him to take a new look at himself. With only 400 feet to go, as he pulls himself up with a rope, his path is blocked by a field of massive rocks. For all his superhuman strength and will, this Nguvu man can go no further on his own.
What are we doing? We need to lift him.
Reluctantly, he allows his team to carry him 100 feet.
I became luggage at that point.
Chris feels like a failure.
It's a long day.
Until his lead advisor privately shares a precious bit of wisdom.
He said, nobody climbs a mountain alone. And I went, oh, so you mean this is the lesson that I'm supposed to learn?
Suddenly, the man who spent years powering through barriers has a brand new vision of his disability.
I didn't want to ask for help because that meant that that might be true, that I'm less of a person. But asking for help is ultimately the human thing.
So you realized that you were successful.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes our success is not what we intend. It's not necessarily what we plan.
A magical awakening atop Mount Kilimanjaro at 19,341 feet. Chris Waddell realizes he is Nguvu Man, superhuman for reaching the summit, but also just human for discovering humility.